So yes, so like when I was in high school, I discovered, different set of people, different environment. I could be a bit more freer, and as I grew up older, when I'm outside of my environment where we've been trained, so to speak, to be a certain way, speak a certain way, engage a certain way. So I think for me now, it reached a point I got exhausted because I was like, it's not working anymore, and not just for me but even for everybody. It's like I'm giving conflicting, and people are like, but that's not you, but I'm like, no, that's me. And I realized I needed to stop. So that has been my experience with being authentic, and now I'm trying more and more to just be me. It's still a struggle in as much as I know what the issue is, but like we talked about it last time about healing. I think I've also been on that journey of healing, and healing all areas of my life, whereby I'm coming to terms and accepting that it's okay, I'm fine, but now I need to be me, and I need to show up to people as me, so that now they can get the real vibes, and act accordingly.
I think my experience
Or
is
react
similar to
accordingly.
yours.
Is that we're all authentic, I think, with each other.
With each other, yeah.
Maybe when we
Yeah.
when we leave here, we're different. But at least with each other, which I think is really cool to be able to be yourself in a workspace.
Yes.
Yeah, I think my experience is similar to Lillian's. I remember like back in uni days, because I went to university in Kakamega, Masinde Mulero. So that was like so far removed,
Beautiful.
And yes, and like when I, because that's where my course was, and then now it's just like my mom was like, "Do they even have cars, or do you go on a donkey? Like, what is there?" Much love to Kakamega, but so just me being living in Nairobi and everything. So it's like, where is this? We have to go and do like a reconnaissance to see, is it like, what is this university? Anyway, but because of being so, like being out of my usual space, I really, really tried. And also because I'm very different. So I'm very creative, I'm very artsy, but,
True.
and very bubbly, very outgoing.
Yes.
But sometimes, especially being in a new sort of space like that, and you're not really sure about the dynamics, people can interpret it differently. You see, so a lot of times people have told me, because I'm very friendly, they sometimes feel that maybe that's flirtatious, but it's just my natural, so there are certain spaces now you have to be a bit more guarded, So like going to uni now, I remember I got like big baggy t-shirts from my grandpa, my babu. I used to wear leggings and a big baggy t-shirt so that no one looks at me, no one, just trying to stay under the radar, not even fit in, but just that no one is looking at me. Let me just these 4 years finish quickly. But it was very interesting. So it was really hard. And then just one day, I just said, you know what? I'm tired. I can't do this anymore. Like you're saying, you just feel it's enough. And so, I used to have dreads, and then I used to have bottle tops in my hair. I used to, just all sorts of things. And then, of course, now people are like, where is this one from? Oh my goodness. So I was like, I was trying so hard to not be seen, but it was still an
But they're
issue.
still seeing you.
Then when I'm being myself, it's still an issue. So I said, okay, you know what? It's fine. I used to just call the girl with the pekeles in her hair, Even the student center, they used to just collect all the bottle tops, because I'll make jewelry, things like that.
Oh, how nice.
But it was, so I do identify with that certain spaces for me, I would say before, just because of being aware of who I am, and maybe people may interpret certain things differently, so just to be a bit, until you sort of assess the situation, bit guarded, and maybe not being my true self, initially.
Antonia, you said you.
Never had a
I
problem.
actually made it my intention to always be myself. No, because I'm also really conscious of death, Yeah, this could be my last day, right?
Wow.
So I always imagine this conversation with, God, and he's like, how was it, and I really can't be saying, I was thinking about so and so and so and so. So for me, also listening to other people's opinions, when I realized that people's opinions are based on their trauma, their fears, their own limitations. So someone can tell you something like you're too soft to lead because maybe they tried somewhere and it failed. and they love you. In fact, they care about you so much, they're telling you for your best, for your best interest. But no one can know for you where your destiny is, where your mission is. You know, like you said, you tried to change and it was just not working, right? Yeah, so I somehow managed to get to understand that very early on. But I've also had some really great mentors who were totally themselves and who've broken ground. You know, they've gotten the mockery, the whatever, you know. I think it's Gandhi who said, first they hate you, then they ridicule you, then they fight you, then you win. So I've been blessed with a lot of people who are themselves, right? Like even this whole breakthrough company is a very authentic company. So, and I can feel an authenticity actually when people are not quite themselves, because I'm so myself, then I kind of get scared of them. No, really, because I'm like, well, we're not having a fair exchange, right? But I mean, for me, it's more fascination that people would give up their lives to fit in with others who might not even like them, right? How they are naturally, right? I really don't think that's why God put us here.
No, not at all. You know, I have been on both. I've been on that journey of trying to fit in, and now in a space where I'm just who I am. But I also see that we have several versions of ourselves. The version that I am at home, and I keep telling my daughters, even if you see the social media, whatnot, I'm your mom. I'm not that only kind of thing. So I wonder whether we can, you know, there's a space also for us to embrace the different versions of ourselves, because I don't think we are the same to every person.
No.
When I'm with someone who needs me to maybe listen more, subordinate myself more, so as to be of service to them, I'll be very different from the person in the classroom, from the person in the boardroom. And it's so important, I think, for women and men to be able to strip off all the titles, to know who we are, but also recognize in the spaces. So am I a CEO at home? No, absolutely not. I'm Murugami's wife and mother to our children. But sometimes you get crossed lines, and you're kind of behaving in the same way that I would behave in terms of some specific habits. So I think it then comes down to having a bit of a situational awareness to recognize what's the best version of myself that I can bring here. Exactly. You know, what's the best version I can bring to my friend who I'll meet later today, to the teacher of my daughters, to that board, to my spouse. You know, what's the best version and I think it requires a lot of discernment. So I don't think it's faking it. I think it's bringing our best selves. And I think it's a lifetime's journey.
And I think we've got different sides to us.
We do.
For sure.
We do.
I like that. It's not that you're being inauthentic.
No.
It's
You're
just
authentic.
So you're authentic in the different
versions.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because sometimes we decide I'm going to be this version everywhere, and it doesn't work. First of all, it's the wrong thing in some spaces. I don't know, wrong is the right word. I don't know what word to use.
Culture.
Yes. So I guess it's a bit of a combination of honor yourself and honor the person, kind of simultaneously. And it takes time, because there are places I go and guys are like, you mean you can talk? And I'm like, I'm just going to be, I was listening. You know, I'm not coming to say something as such. And actually, I find it very exciting to just be also just mute sometimes, more quiet, because maybe that situation requires that, and it's okay. I think that's the part that's the hard part. It's okay. Once you decide, then that it's okay.
What I like about what you're saying is to bring the best version of yourself. The different selves, but the best version, I think, is the point.
Yes.
Right? So the best mother, the best friend, the best boss, the best...
your truth.
Yeah.
Your truth has to just always be there. Your honesty about who you are. Because authenticity also is about honesty.
It is.
In as much as we're not necessarily talking about honesty.
It's true. It's true.
You want to be an honest person
Yeah.
to every person you meet, whether it's a watchman, whether it's the help in the house, your nanny. I mean, and I think that's what we lack sometimes, or we forget.
I see. I actually see something. Yeah, you want to go ahead?
No, just about. That's when I was saying to you that people who are not authentic, I'm
Yes.
scared to trust them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's
Yeah,
what it
but
is.
authenticity
There's
meter.
a lack of honesty.
You have an authenticity meter that beeps.
Yeah, I'm
You're
like
going
this.
down.
Yeah, it's like a lack of honesty. It's a lack of honesty, right?
So I wonder whether there's a space for us to think about like our DNA, and I don't mean the cells, but what is that consistent thing? Even as I show up in different ways, it's still me. The way you were saying with the guard, with the boss, with the what, there's something that's the Lillian effect. That's the Antonia effect.
Isn't it a life force? Isn't it like a life force, like a chi? Like an energy?
Yes. But how does one develop it? How does one, because there's a
Like
consistency.
the essence.
Yes, but how does it show up? Is it certain habits that cut across? What is it?
You have to be conscious every day. You have to wake up conscious that today, I mean, one of the things you're praying about in the morning is today I'm going to be authentic. It's something conscious that you're saying. Just the same way we pray every day about whatever we're praying about. Add that into your prayer, that I want to show up as who God has created me for this life,
I once heard integrity is when what you mean, when what you say and do are in harmony, which is honesty, right?
Integrity is what it is.
And you mentioned habits. Habits. So I was talking about energy.
Yes.
But it's also
The energy shows up as habits.
energy shows up as habits.
You
It
see,
does.
because when you think about that person we say nice vibes. What do we say? Good vibes.
Good vibes.
Positive vibes.
Yeah.
That's the lingo, isn't it? What's that? Really, when we dissect it, it's a habit of how they show up to brighten people's spaces.
How they say hello.
How they greet you, how they conduct themselves. So I think it gives us hope, because sometimes being ourselves, we have some rough spaces. We have rough corners that you don't want everyone to see. You want to work on them. So I think that by being you, we have a great opportunity to develop habits that can be consistent as we keep showing up in our next best selves. Because it's next.
Yeah.
Because my best self today is not probably the same one as next year's. So there's space to keep growing, and I think that's so hopeful. That you don't feel condemned that, gosh, my best self last year, I've never reached there again. But there's another version that can continuously become better. So we can be authentic and truly be who we were created to be.